Hello everybody. So there's been a couple of people asking me how I'm running the hunt that is going on at the moment. It is my favourite PvE event that CCP put on. I think that's just mainly because it was the first that I could really do when I was a new character all that kind of a year or so ago. And I did it quite successfully in the Thrasher, and people have been going, oh, you need assault frigates and all of that sort of stuff. You don't. This Thrasher here is easy mode, and in fact I've got the wrong ammo loaded at the moment. Dadex, the YouTuber, did a really nice video on it last year, which is essentially what I've based my fit off. So let me go to the fitting. So this is the fitting that I've got here. AutoCannon II's a festival launcher, you can ignore that. Medium shield booster 2, Monopropellant enduring Afterburner, cap booster, 2 gyros. Here we've got the 2 thermal and EM rigs, but we've also got the capacitor safeguard in there. Now this is the ship that I used last year, and it's just been kind of stored since then. I haven't really done anything with it. If I was to do this again, I'd probably upgrade all of these to T2 just for a little bit of extra tank, but I'm too lazy to do that now, and I hate destroying rigs, and therefore I'm not going to do that thing. Then you'll see in the cargo here, I'm using mainly boring standard super cheap phase plasma S for most of the sites. Sometimes if I'm a bit worried about time, or I'm starting to see people on D-scan, I'll switch to the Republic Fleet phase plasma just for a little bit of extra. And then I've got my pooping myself drugs here, so extra DPS, extra kind of reps from the shield booster. If I simulate this here and put the right ammo in, just so you guys have an idea of numbers. Where's the normal phase plasma? So I am putting out around 280 DPS with normal phase plasma. If you're not getting above kind of 250, this is going to be quite difficult because a lot of your tank is kind of DPS tank, as it were. But I say that, I don't kill things in any particular order, so I could be doing this better. With the posh phase plasma, the Republic Fleet, I get about 328. I could have hail in, which gives me 420. The problem with that is our fall off ends about where these guys orbit. So yeah, if you do that, they will you know, you get a lot of missed shots, which I think isn't quite as good. Most things orbit you around 5k, so the phase plasma has a fall off of 7.5 ish. So yeah, and that seems to do absolutely fine. Don't worry about barrage, it doesn't do enough DPS and it doesn't hit quite as far. So I've got 2 Gyro 2s in the lows, and then yeah, we spoke about the rigs and the festival launcher, because launch fireworks at a mysterious capsule was one of the egg hunts, which I quite like doing these things. So let's see what happens when we get out in space. I've been doing these things in low sec. I already have a bunch of these keys in my cargo, so I might do a video on how to find them. But it's essentially, if you know how to use a D-scan, then you are absolutely fine. You don't need to worry about that sort of thing. Yeah, I've been doing this in low sec mainly because high sec is just too busy for me. And I'm going to put normal phase plasma in just to prove a point, as it were, to show you that it can be done kind of pretty easy mode. But yeah, high sec's too busy. You don't find these you don't find these sites readily enough, which is disappointing. You know, because the sites I really enjoy, the sites are cool, but there aren't really enough of them. Does mean people are going to try and kill you, but that's absolutely fine. Right, let's go, Thrasher. So these sites, they pop up just down here in your probe scanner. Now I was here earlier and kind of pulled out around, on average I think I'm getting around 20 mil a site. I did pull out 80 million plus a Gecko BPC, so kind of a freak 160, 150 that will be in total from one, but I've also had a couple of 4s, which is always disappointing. But it is the way with these things. Nope, let's see how Labapi is looking. Let's get my D scanner back on something sensible. Let's get rid of that. Actually have a plan for where to go here. I'm just kind of moving. Let's go. That looks like a boring system. When you're looking for these sites, it is worthwhile burning around a little bit to try and find what I'd call a boring system, but a system where there's not going to be much going on. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of guys out there. I have been contested in high sec a couple of times, who are just kind of zooming around high sec and zooming around low sec, just going in straight lines, following a curve. I've found that, and this is quiet because I did a route similar to this just before downtime, and that was only 20 minutes ago. I do have ships destroyed in the last hour on my thing, mainly because that's what I'm looking for when hunting myself. That's the sort of thing that I'm looking for when I'm flying around myself, looking for some PvP action. But yeah, for anybody who thinks low sec's scary, it's really not. You just need to know how to use a D-scan, how to use your local. Look, nobody in local. I am safe as houses. You know, and if I've got this up in front of me, sighting my way, I can always... I've got that minute to switch it off if I've shafted myself. Might just check this system out here. Yeah, so this is a little pocket. It's like, who on earth is going to be flying around these systems here? Unless they're doing exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, look, nobody in space in the last half an hour, so didn't want that one. Hate big systems. So I am most certainly not an expert at this. There'll be people that I'm sure can run it better, but not necessarily in a ship that even with everything is 18.3, and certainly not as easily as this. There are timers between waves. I'm yet to work out exactly what the timers are, but I can finish the site comfortably before the next group warp in. Yeah, I can finish the site comfortably before the next group warp in, so that makes life nice and simple. It means I don't need to rush. I have finished them quickly enough to actually be concerned that I've done something wrong, and then the next wave has warped in. Probably should have stayed in low sec here, but traffic is offline. Fuck off. There we go. Gyristas Hunt Outpost. There we go. And it's high sec and there's no one else in system. Oh, there's loads of them here, so I'll do 2 or 3. So before you jump in, you need one of these keys here, the Hunt YC123 acceleration key. And as I say, I've kind of gone round. The keys, if you're looking on D-Scan, the keys are more available than the sites are. So I haven't ever really farmed any. I've got a couple before I did my first one, but yeah, I haven't really had to farm up keys or anything like that. Look, there's one. Mysterious Red, we'll go get that one in a little bit. Always warp to 0 on gates, I hear. A very good FC told me that once. Okay. So, entering the site, not really, what do we got? Worm, Condor. So I am going to go for the worm first, just because, so I'm going to go, lock, 1, 2, 3, that's everything going. So I'm going to go for the worm, and then I'm just going to randomly lock up. And then Condor's next. These things tend to die too quickly for me to actually ram them, but if a cruiser comes in, I will ram the cruiser. Ooh, Korax. I should have killed the Korax first. The Korax, the only thing that will scare you is the alpha that some of these have. The Korax and the worm and the caracal, I mean, I've done it completely wrong there, and I'm also over-repping massively. Oh shit, I have forgotten to fill up on cap boosters. So let's just alarm that. Whoops. Well, there's loads of them here, wonderful. Right, and we're back again. Look, I found a system with what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's awesome. And we're back. So, as I was saying, what I should have done before is to go straight for the Korax. Sod the Bantams. Sometimes if you're really far away, the webs are the first thing to go for, but I like to go for the things that have the big alpha. You can see my shield flying all over the place there. But once I've got the worm and the kestrel down, I'm going to switch that off. The worm and the Korax, sorry. Shoot. Shoot, sticky keys. These bantams seem to be not a thing this year. They used to actively rep your opponents and the NPCs, but here they just seem to sit on the fence and be scared like any good new bro Logi does. And they're a really long way away to burn for. You don't have to kill them, to be fair, but I think it helps. I haven't quite worked out. Oh, I'm actually shooting the wrong one. Never mind. I think it helps with the mechanics of how when the gate opens, because sometimes there are 3-4 waves. I think it's the amount of people that you've killed. But as you can see, even with this fit, nothing's really going on. Like, these next people could warp in. It's on a, seems to be on a timer, because if you only kill one, nothing happens. So we're just going to wait here. So yeah, that's with normal phase plasma. Here we go. So my advice is always going to be go for the caracal first. I'm going to turn my harner on because it's the alpha that hurts. It's not necessarily the dups. And I'm just ramming them. Ram away. And I'm going to switch once we're through shields. I'm switching to what I'm ramming. And now he's gone. I can switch that off. Save me some boosties. There we go. As you can see, like full, I could have this running all the time if I wasn't so confident with my management of the buttons. But essentially, when I hear the capacitor alarm, I click that, and it's plenty. That gets me up to kind of 3/4. Even if I go all the way and capacitor empty or whatever it says, even if that happens, you know, you can still recover pretty quick. So we're going to go for the Corax first, but I'm going to lock everything else up. And if things get close to me first, so I'm just watching, yeah, Condor, he can die first. Yeah, there's that big alpha. It's still not that bad. The worm is nice and close. Kill the worm! Clearly been F1 monkeying too much recently. My F1 key is a tad sticky / broken. Oh, there we go. Honk honk honk. So I am gonna quickly flip that there. Once the worm goes down, I'm gonna switch this off and the kestrels will just die. Oh. What I do try and do when it gets to this point is make my way towards the gate. One of the things that does suck is this is quite like the graphics, this is quite cool, but it's an arse if you get stuck in it. It's a massive arse if you get stuck in it, because then you might die because you can't get close enough to people. When I was first doing, I lost a couple of these, but one successful sight is worth more than one ship, which is why I think this is new bro friendly. It's not just click and shoot like some of these hideaways and stuff like that. Caracal and a Corax. You know, I've been caught out a couple of times with forgetting to put my repper on and stuff like that, and I haven't died yet in this round. There we go, there's that alpha from the thing, so I'm honk honk honking. Let's see if I can get away with this. Yeah, like 43. There we go, and it's open, so I'm going to take the gate now. The one thing you need to be a little bit careful of is you do need one of these if you get tackled. Okay, let me concentrate on this first. So, essentially, lock, approach, guns, prop mod, repper. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. And I'm literally not going to have to touch anything. I'm still using boring phase plasma. No, normal phase plasma. Still not scared. Trust in the fit. Always trust in the fit. This is definitely one of those times I'm not even going to worry about this because he did. Capacitor is empty. Perfect timing. That was more to prove a point, and as you can see, I've just dipped into hull there. Which, to be fair, that's the first time I've done it. But 31 million. Wonderful. I'm just going to dock here because I'm a firm believer of not tempting fate. I'm a firm believer of not tempting fate. And going into the next site, just in case I disconnect or something like that, with loot in the cargo hold, especially as there's loads of sites. And yeah, I did dip into hull a little bit there. I did start without my shields on, up at full, but meh. I could have switched to phase plasma, I could have taken some drugs, I could have done a lot of things to make my life a little easier there. But that is it on the plebeiest mode you can on this ship. Click 5 buttons, take your hands off the controls. Hell, oh, that's quite cool. Not that I will ever be able to fly a hell anytime soon. Yeah. So yeah, although that's a little bit pantsy, that's quite nice. Although I'll have to hold on to it. Let's give a quick repair. Yes. I don't get why when it asks you, we don't need that stuff there. Always fly with this in. Everybody wants to be drunk and smoking when they're flying around in space. I don't get why it asks you when you say repair all, it gives you a price instead of just going, yes, you've said repair all, because it's already given you a price, how much it's going to cost. Right, going to go to the next one. This is rare, by the way, having this many sites in one system, but like I say, you hunt for the lesser travelled paths. There we go. So that is our payout from 5 sites. My memory's not very good. 100 mil, 5 sites, give or take. This will not sell for, these two won't sell for that right now. If you sell skins whilst the event's going on, you will halve your ISK, just like those good gentlemen in and ladies in Cheetah do. If you give it to them in the local channel, don't do that. But they will in a couple of months or so, so always hold on to skins for a couple of months. That is clever bit. As far as kind of insty ISK is concerned, that's, you know, 20 mil, you know, 5 mil a site. That's not the greatest in the world. That's particularly poor in those, but at least that's pretty decent compared to your average going. Got a couple of those as well, and a few other bits and pieces. But as I said, over the course of, with two, where are they? You know, that's one site just there. Okay, and that's just 30 mil of kind of, you know, that's liquid ISK effectively. And where's my Artellanor town? You know, this, you know, these bits and pieces, that's all, you know, this is all kind of effectively, this is 2 sites as well, so liquid ISK, you know, all of this is good. So yeah, thank you very much. I am going to stop rambling on like an idiot now and cruise back to Ron, and hopefully you guys in LinkNet you know, found this useful. The important thing is this: trust the fit. Make sure you've got over 250 DPS with phase plasma. If not, skill up, boyos, and that's not too much of an ask. Where's my fit again? That's not too much of an ask. I mean, I am hitting with boring phase plasma. I never go to the right spot. Boring phase plasma, I am hitting for 285. So, you know, you want to be aiming for 300 really. As you can see, it was easier with my Republic fleet phase plasma, and I was up at 320. And then it was even easier with hail, apart from you have to be a bit more cautious. If you're using hail, you have to make sure you get the webs first, otherwise you're not going to kill those big targets. Although it's quicker, and you have to be a bit more big brain, which I am certainly not. And if I was to buy this fit again, I would definitely T2 all the rigs. It is worth every penny of T2ing all the rigs. Don't T2 this. This is the, you know, your cap is the biggest annoyance, and this is the lowest cap hungry afterburner there is, including all of the faction and dead space ones. I think there's one dead space one which is equal to it and much more expensive, so you don't need anything more than that. Probably don't need the T2 there. It allows it to cycle a little bit faster, but as you can see, I'm not constantly running it, so that's probably not an issue. But 100 HP per 3 seconds, so 33 HP a second regen is definitely what you're looking for. Right, thank you very much. I'm going to cut this into something that looks sensible and hopefully be able to show it to you soon. Cheers guys.